Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another Teacher Joseph podcast. Today, we are going to look at the British flag. And we're going to ask, where did it come from and what does it represent? Well, first of all, let me describe it. So, the British flag is the one which you always see around the Queen. Whenever she's out walking, there's people waving it. Whenever our government is giving any speeches, the flag is always there. It's commonly called the Union flag because it's representative of what holds us together: the Scots, the English, the Welsh, and Northern Ireland. It's quite a pretty little thing, however, it's very controversial. People here are very shy with that flag. And unless there's a royal in town, like the Queen or the Queen's family, you won't generally see it. I think the reason for that is because we are a very diverse culture. Within the UK, every town, you will soon discover that there will be someone of a different nationality, different colour, who looks different from you walking around. And so that flag would be a little bit, what can I say, a little bit uncomfortable for some people. So, for example, if you can imagine going on a holiday to a country and someone comes up to you and says, you should be British, waving the flag in your face, it would be a little bit, it's not very nice. So, for that reason, we don't really see the flag very much. Even in government offices, the flag is not really so popular. British people are very shy with it. Also, it doesn't really represent all of us because Wales isn't on there. That's because Wales was a principality of England. It wasn't really a kingdom or a country in its own right. So that's another reason why it's a little bit uncomfortable. It doesn't really have all of us on there. So the white diagonal bit is Scottish. That's the St. Andrew's flag. The white background with red stripes is the English part, and the other bit is Northern Ireland, the St. Patrick's flag, which was white background and blue. I was mentioning that it's a bit controversial. Well, it is. In 1997, the Welsh were asking, why are we not on there? Well, the most obvious answer is because their flag isn't pretty. It has a big dragon. And they were proposing that the dragon, the mythical animal, should be put on top of the Union Jack. Can you imagine the British flag with a dragon? It doesn't sound right, does it? And of course, it didn't happen. So when the Union first came into existence, to give you some history, when Scotland and England joined in 1707, the Union of the Crowns, those flags were put together. And then in 1921, the Irish flag was added. Actually, it was there before 1921, I think. But in 1921, Northern Ireland was the only British bit left because the rest of Ireland, which was British, formed a republic. So they decided to keep the Northern Ireland bit. Britain decided to keep Northern Ireland, and that's why there's a Northern Irish flag on there. So, is it on its way out? Well, it's certainly a little bit, it's kind of uncomfortable for some people. I mean, I wouldn't have one, that's for sure. It kind of makes a statement about nationalism and Britain from our colonial days. In 1997, British Airways, which was our national airline. It's not our national airline now. We don't have one. We don't really have any kind of national thing now. But they decided to remove the union off the tails of their planes. Do you remember it was fashionable to have a little flag or emblem on the back of the plane, on the tail? Well, they removed the union flag and they put pictures of animals from Africa to other ethnic designs, because they were saying, well, that they're no longer a British company. You know, they were privatized many, many years ago. And they were proud to have been born and raised in Britain, but they wanted to show Britain as modern, not imperial. So, yeah, they were perhaps one of the first companies to just make a decision to get rid of the flag. And I think it would be very hard to find any company here who has the British flag as their emblem. The government does. Well, the central government does, but because of the call for the union to be broken up, in Scotland, the Scottish flag is everywhere. That's the blue one with the white cross, so you don't see the union flag in Scotland. Likewise, in England, at football matches, when England's playing, they show the English flag, the white background and the red stripes. So, yeah, I think many of us are very uncomfortable with the flag generally. In 2003, a campaign was launched to try and modernize it because it was felt it represented something which existed long ago. And they came up with a new flag, but it wasn't very successful, so they ditched it. It looked absolutely awful. It was to reflect multicultural Britain in the 21st century. But I don't think they realised that we don't like flags, you know. Anyway, in 2007, there was a poll carried out that said that teenagers saw themselves as English, Scottish or Welsh, and nobody wanted to actually say they were British. Yeah, I'm a bit like that. You know, when I go on holiday and people say, oh, where are you from? I kind of like apologise before I say that I'm British. I don't want them to think that I have a British flag in one hand and a can of beer in the other, running down the streets of Spain, because that seems to be the stereotype of our young people, doesn't it? So yeah, I don't really like calling myself British. I don't really like calling myself English either. That's worse. So I tend to have other ways of describing myself. Oh yes, I'm from the UK. That tends to help a lot. Apparently, another poll, which happened in 2007, said most people want the UK to break up. And I think it's because everybody knows that in Britain, in the UK itself, it's not level with wealth. So the northern part is really very, very poor, and the northern part has a lot of social problems, and all of the money's in the south. And that is a little bit creepy and uncomfortable for everyone, so nobody wants that either. Just another little thing about this flag. You have to make sure that you fly it the right way up. Not many people realize that that flag only flies in one particular way. So the broader, wider, diagonal white stripe should always be at the top. So if you fly it incorrectly, British people will notice, but they probably won't say anything because nobody really cares. The UK flag is not entirely symmetrical. You can rotate it, but it doesn't look right. Well, I could go on and talk about this flag for hours, but I won't. I just want to say that if somebody famous dies, especially in the royal family, that flag is brought down halfway from Buckingham Palace, the Queen's residence, and it's flown at half-mast, as it's called. And it's flown on the birthdays of members of the royals, Commonwealth Day, Coronation Day, the Queen's birthday, Remembrance Day, that's when we remember the war, I hate that, and on the days of the state opening and propagation of Parliament. It's also flown on St. David's Day, St. George's Day, St. Andrew's Day, and St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, but I think it's on its way out, that's for sure. But that's a little history of our flag. I hope you enjoyed this, and let's talk soon. Bye-bye.